You staying home tonight?
I hadn't planned on it, no.
Plan on it.
Hey everyone, Aaron here with North Alabama Disc Golf. This is the Alabama Disc Golf Championship 2014, the 7th time the tournament has happened. A tier, one of the best ones in the Southeast. Before the video starts, got to thank Halo Disc Sports, a video sponsor. They got a ton of great plastic, they're a huge retailer, new tour bags, and a ton of apparel. Joining us for commentary today is Lavone Wolfe.
Hello everybody from Athens, Alabama.
And Lavone, tell everyone about yourself. You're kind of a legend as far as disc golf in the Southeast goes.
Well, I don't know about that. I've just been playing a long time. I tell people BC, and that stands for Before Chains, but I'm still happy to be playing and love it as much as the day I started.
And we have Matt on the box, throwing it hole one, out of bounds left and right, and that looks like a really good shot.
He's going to be very happy with that.
Earlier, the day yesterday after he threw, he said, I'm going to birdie this hole one day. I think he might get that one. But real quick, Lavone, you've been playing so long that triple-digit PDGA number. You don't see too many people with that.
This is my 40th year, and actually I tell people I should have had a single digit, but I didn't have $5 to give Tom Monroe when we were signing up. I've long regretted that.
So you would have had 1 or 9 or in between.
Somewhere in there, yeah. And Tom Monroe also, he ended up with 033, and he's been unhappy with me ever since.
Well, Cam put his Frisbee up there really close. He's under it.
Looks like his shot looks like it's a little bit short.
Yeah, it was off to the right a little bit. He threw the overhand. I think it just came out too far to the right. Everybody knows this guy, Will Schusterick.
He caught a little bit of cabbage there, but he's parked.
Yeah, this isn't the easiest birdie hole in the course, but 3 of these guys just nailed it. And everybody sees there, McFly came out to do the video so everyone gets to see what he looks like behind the camera. And Dutch leaves his upshot a little bit wide. He's going to have a tester to save par.
Looking toward that creek, if it hits and rolls at all, it's usually in the water.
Matt gets that birdie that he said he wanted the day before. Dutch saves his par. And I think Cam and Will are both going to tap out for their easy 2s. That's a good way to start. So we're going to go into hole 2, and
that's a little bit of difficulty. Out of bounds down the left, and that creek that you see there is out of bounds. And if you carry a little bit past it, which these guys shouldn't have any trouble with, I'd expect most of these boys to be throwing a turnover mid-range.
Or even a putter, because, I mean, this distance is nothing for a lot of these guys who can really throw.
Yeah, Matt's parked. Cam's shot's coming out almost the same line as Matt. Very nice.
A lot of these guys left a little bit short yesterday, but they all seem to nail their 40-foot putts.
Every one of them almost an identical line. See what Dutch does here.
I'm surprised no one was throwing a flick here. This is a pretty popular flick hole.
That looks like a high turn. Yeah, it left Dutch a little bit of a tester here. He really didn't commit to that. He left that a little low.
Yeah, these elevated baskets are dangerous. If you run at them, if you miss and don't hit anything, you know you're going 30 past at least.
These 3 should be pretty routine.
Will and Matt both get their 2s. Cam 2.
On to this next hole.
This hole has got to be one of the harder 3s on the course. It's really technical. You have to pitch up to a corner by a bridge and a creek, and your first shot is a placement shot.
Yeah, if you don't put that right up there close to that bridge, you've got a very difficult shot to get across the water.
Right. Your second shot should be throwing across a creek, which is about a 100-plus foot shot, but it's pretty tight, and it's not very easy at all.
This is our first true par 4. These 3 drives look outstanding, though. They're going to have a pretty good shot at a 3.
Yeah, they're all pretty much putting it up their textbook. It looks like Dutch flattened his out a little bit and threw it a little bit too straight.
He's going to have a choice. He's going to have to decide if he can go over the top and try to make a run at the green, or will he lay up?
Cam's up there. He's going to be putting for a 3. Well, Matt Scuttle's up there. It could have been a bad bounce, but he got a good one.
Dutch decided to go for it. I'm not sure where that's going, though.
I almost missed that shot. I was trying to do something with the camera, but I got it back just in time, and he threw it. I think he went past. He went in the woods past the basket, so he really threw it pretty hard.
It was probably worth the risk, though. He turned it enough, so he's in bounds. He didn't go out of bounds, so he may have a little bit of a rush to.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. Yeah, he's still got a putt for a 4.
And he leaves it short, just like the last hole. That's sort of unlike Dutch, because I got to film him for 2 rounds, and he was a very consistent, very good putter from the
he's
circle's
a good putter.
edge. I don't think he quite has the arm that some of these guys he's playing with have, but if you can putt like him, you can play with anyone. The other guys all clean up their pars. We're on to hole 4, and the hardest thing about this is how you tee off. So kind of explain that.
Yeah, you've got to get through these trees, and it looks pretty wide there on camera, but trust me, when you're on that tee pad, that's a very narrow gap to throw with power.
Right, but it's not that the gap is so small or big, it's that you have to throw it really hard through a little gap. So that's one of the hardest things, is being accurate with power. It's such a...
Well, the design of this hole, too, you've got a false front, and you think you've thrown your approach shot, and you'll really be surprised when you find out you're still 40 to 50 feet short.
Right, because it's a little uphill to start, and then there's this hill you have to crest. And I saw several people on this hole during this tournament leave their upshots short.
Yeah, when you have power like you just saw there, Will's going to be very happy with that shot. Now, Dutch came out with a roller. Now, if that turns over, he's going to have a really good look at this hole.
It did turn over, too. He got his drive out there with everyone else's.
He won't be happy with that. That was a long lunge for a approach shot.
Yeah, and it faded out a little bit, too. He didn't really put it in the air where he wanted it to. It didn't finish straight, and he's probably going to have 30 or 40.
Now, this was an outstanding drive. That is a long drive, folks.
If you have a 60-foot look at this hole, that's an extremely good drive. That's about as far as you're going to throw. Will had a chance, but he just left it low.
Good putt.
That was a clutch putt. 30-plus feet uphill, a little bit of wind.
Yeah, he needed that. Maybe that'd get him going.
This next hole, too, hopefully, because it's one of the easier holes on the course. It's see how far that is. It's only 220 in this position, and I think all these guys are probably going to be throwing a flick at it. You see the basket there.
Yeah, this is really a must-get deuce. If they crest that hill or crash the canopy, they should be putting.
Looks like Matt's in there. He's probably going to be in the circle. Like you said, he threw it into the top of the trees, and that'll drop you down and give you a look.
That was unfortunate there. He would have had that skip on the basket.
He did the same thing yesterday, too, just a little bit low, a little higher like Will right there. That looks like a pretty good shot. And you can get over that hill, like you said.
Okay, that's going to be a nice shot. Maybe Dutch is back in the groove here.
Cam's got about a 40-foot uphill look.
Wow.
And that's a really, really good putt. 40 feet straight at the basket. That's another difficult putt, too, from Will. None of these guys have clean looks.
It's a short hole. They still made it look pretty easy, even with the putts.
And Dutch had the CTP there, so he put it right on the top of the canopy, and it fell through. And here's a really hard 300. I think I actually got the wrong label here. This basket is more than 400 feet, and you have to throw it on an anhyzer.
Well, there's out of bounds there to the right. I think Matt may have found it. He did.
Yep, he was trying to get that anhyzer and sawed it off a little bit.
Cam's playing a little bit safe. He's going to be out to the left.
Probably pin high, but he's probably got 50 feet easily to the left of the pin. Looks like Will's trying to throw a flip at it a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little high. It's going to fade out. Just a safe shot. Looks like they're kind of playing it for a 3. This is an aggressive line.
Yeah, he's going right at it, and that out of bounds is right beside the basket, but fades out perfectly. I think Dutch is inside the circle. It's Matt throwing 3. Pretty easy pitch up for him. His up shots have been really good this entire tournament.
Yeah, not really a run at it. He's got that out of bounds behind it. Don't want to roll down the hill.
I think that'll leave Will a little bit of a tester for a comeback. Dutch for a 2.
Yes, he's back in it.
He needed that. I think that's the first time on this card that he picked up strokes on everyone else. He'd just been losing them. That was almost too high, but Will got it right underneath the band. So Dutch gets a 2, Matt with a 4, Cam and Will with a 3. On to hole 7. This hole was nearly aced by Will the day before, skipping off.
This can be a little bit deceptive. This hole has actually cost me tournaments. If you don't get it to skip over that sidewalk back in bounds, you're in trouble.
And this hole was especially a little bit more difficult for this tournament because not only did you have the out of bounds on the right side of that walkway, you have out of bounds on the left too. So it's a narrow little fairway, and Cam missed it. He skipped right out of bounds on the left side.
Yeah, Will's taking a wider line. That's going to be nice.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Sticks it right inside the walkway and doesn't skip, so that's good.
And Matt got the skip. Whoa, right over the top.
A little high, but he is inbounds.
That's a little uncharacteristic of Cam there.
Yeah, to not even catch any kind of metal.
And Dutch.
It's Matt for a deuce, and Will. Dutch comes back for his 3. Cam's going to get a bogey on this hole, looks like. We'll go on to hole 8, and this is another deceptive hole. Why is this one so difficult to play? It's only...
Well, you got a low shot. If you don't get across the creek, hit the branches, then you got your second shot back from this tee pad. Now, they'll throw a really overstable disc, and Will did exactly what I was talking about. He caught that little tree branch. He should have an easy upshot, though, to save his 3.
For a 285-foot hole, this hole is full of technicality and danger.
They're also fighting into that wind, too, so they've got to really get it to skip to get into the putt.
And Dutch, that's the one thing you don't want to do in this hole is throw straight.
He probably found water with that shot.
Yeah, there's a creek behind. You definitely need it to fade quick and get the skip like Cam did right there. Cam
That's
and
how it's
Matt,
played.
yeah, Cam and Matt had good throws.
Yeah, Will'll be okay. It looks like Dutch indeed. He found the water.
He did, and I think they couldn't tell exactly where he was, so they gave him a pretty decent light, but he's got a long look.
Amazing putt.
And that was probably maybe the putt of the tournament right there. Dutch was super happy to get that one, and everyone started cheering. It was great.
Yeah, that kept him in it.
Nice deuce for Cam, 30-footer.
A little bit of cleanup.
Yeah, that was a tester for par, but Will got it. Matt puts in for his 2.
This next hole, actually, tell us about this. It's a signature hole. It's my favorite hole on this course.
I think it's one of the most difficult ones because you have a long drive to start, and you're trying to hit a skinny fairway between a creek and a road. And then you have an even skinnier approach shot between Moore Road and the creek.
Yeah, there's not much landing zone up there. The drive is really crucial to the success of that second shot.
And a lot of these guys are just trying to land up there by that tree right in the middle of the fairway, just to give a decent look.
Now, you want to be past it. If you're behind that tree, you don't have much of a shot at all to get to the green.
And Will...
That's a bomb.
Yeah, Will bites off more of the fairway than anyone else there with a pretty big hyzer. Dutch takes the straight line in this hole, and I actually like that throw instead of throwing the...
If he's out front of that tree, he's going to be pleased with that. That's a great shot.
Yeah, that's very controlled. Now you can see the basket right there, and you have not much clearance on the left or the right.
There's creek.
Yeah, Matt might have gone in the creek right there. We'll see what this person signals. Oh, safe barely, probably.
Yeah, that's a hard shot.
He skipped in bounds. He did.
Got over that curb. Now that's the perfect line. That's what you want right there for your drive. Or from your drive, I should say.
And we'll hit a little backboard there. There's that piece of plastic. Great
Nice.
three from Matt.
Yeah, we put that backboard there a few years ago. Believe it or not, we had the creek all the way up to the basket within 3 feet of this basket.
I would have been playing that for a 4 if the creek was that close. I would have been taking 2 up shots maybe.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
That's a really difficult hole. That was a par 4. This one is a par 3, 433 feet. And the difficult part about this one, you have another creek right behind the basket, and out of bounds on the left side.
They have the power to drive this hole. They just need to bring it in to make sure they get back in bounds. That looks pretty good.
That's a beautiful shot and a crush. It is so far away and very accurate 430-foot shot.
There's a low line. That's going to have to come hard. I'm not sure if he made it.
The grass ate it up. Will taking a big hyzer spike. Didn't quite see where that one finished.
You know, he may have gone past the basket. If so, he could have easily found out of bounds.
Dutch turned his over a little much. He threw right into the out of bounds. There is out of bounds on the right side. The fairway's pretty forgiving, but he shanked it.
From the drop zone. And that could be trouble.
Yeah, under that bridge and walkway is out of bounds, and there's a creek there too. Cam almost puts in from about 80 feet out. That's Will's shot. So Will did slide out of bounds right there.
That's unfortunate because he's inside of 20 feet.
These baskets will get you almost. That's the really challenging part about this course. These baskets are all snuggled up up against some kind of danger.
That's risk reward. You got to make a choice. Do you go for it or not?
Looks like Cam's going to get a 3. Matt's going to get the only deuce.
Great drive.
On to hole 11, 505 feet, and like everything else, there's OB on the right side with the road and behind it.
Well, these guys have the power to drive this hole, even though it's 500 feet. I've seen Will throw spike hyzers on it. If you go too far, that fairway does taper right in the back of that basket, so your shot gets pretty crucial.
I think these guys are trying to keep it safe, but still bite off as much of the fairway as they possibly can.
Yeah, I think the wind has them undecisive today on going for it.
Will throws a little bit of a hyzer flip. And that's down there. He's going to have a putt. And this is an extremely long hole to get a putt on. And Dutch taking another roller.
That's got to stay in. I'm not sure. No.
Oh, hopped right out of bounds.
Nice up.
I have to think Dutch is running this. Tries to get his 3, but it's a little short. And I don't think I've ever personally seen a 2 until I seen right there.
I don't know that I've ever seen Will not deuce this hole. It's pretty amazing. His record on it is outstanding.
Right, and he's one of those guys that can do it. A lot of people just can't. Here's a double Mando.
Now, if they slide past that mound, there's out of bounds right behind it.
I think the toughest part about this hole isn't the Mando, it's that the basket is on the crest of a hill, so it slopes down on all sides of the basket.
Yeah, surprisingly, we've had a lot of people miss this double Mando, though, and it's very generous.
Looks like Matt put it right under the basket.
That's a nice-looking shot. Now, Dutch missed that Mando.
Like you said, right there. Lose your focus for 1 second, and then even though it's kind of a big Mando, it's not impossible to miss.
Nice 2.
Yeah, Will puts in for his 2. Yeah, if you don't put it right in the chains here, you can hit basket and roll 30, 40 feet down the hill on any side of it. But all these guys make quick work of that one, except for Dutch. Dutch got a 4. Everyone else dropped in for their 2. And talking about dangerous holes, this next one we're going on to, it was a little bit infamous during this tournament, but it's a small island, only about 250 feet out, and you've got to put it up there and get it in the island or you're in trouble.
Yeah, I won't mention his name, but one of the #1 players in the world a couple of years ago got a 13 on this hole.
Get there. Will comes up short, so he's going to be throwing from the drop zone.
He'll have a putt with that. I believe that hit a stake.
Yeah, he bounced in, though. Cam and Matt make pretty quick work of this hole every time I watched him this week.
And that should be a putt. It's just a little teaser hole.
Well, right here, it was really fast. That was Will's second throw. You can see he's mad. His first drop zone throw, I didn't get it because he did it so fast.
Yeah.
And it went out of bounds. So right there, he was throwing 5.
He won't be happy with that. And again, even the top players in the world can make a 220-something foot hole difficult.
Especially when everyone else puts in for their 2s. And you can see Will's disc right there, and he's going to be putting for 6. And that's tough in a big A-tier tournament just to lose 4 strokes to your card right there. But moving on, next hole, 670 feet, and it's a big fairway to throw into for your first drive, but your upshot gets skinnier and skinnier along the road.
Yeah, this is kind of a showcase hole. The guys with the arms can show out a little bit. You need to get down range because that approach shot is also a little bit difficult. The fairway does taper in at the basket.
Yeah, the fairway is only about as wide as the circle once you get all the way down there.
This is true USDGC style golf here. It's 2-shot hole. And how much do you want to take? What kind of risk do you want to take?
I saw a lot of people on Facebook comparing this course, the play style, to the USDGC in Winthrop. And I didn't get Will right there because he's a little upset about his last hole, but he absolutely mashed this Frisbee. And he's 40, 50 feet past everyone else. He almost went out of bounds on the far side.
That's probably a 570 or 580 foot drive.
It's absolutely huge.
That's going to be nice.
He was 100 feet past Matt Orum's drive. He's going to have a little pitch for his upshot. These guys are swinging this one out wide, not really going straight at it, because if you go straight at it, there's a chance you can go right past the basket into the road. So they're all playing the hyzer upshot.
Well, that sign out there to the right gives you a little bit of something to aim at. If you just hyze it in from that sign, you should be okay.
Yeah, and a 670-foot throw right there, or hole, Will had a little more than 100 feet left for his upshot. So everyone's going to get their birdie 3 on this one, it looks like.
They're going to have a good wind on this next hole, too.
This next hole is difficult because there is your fairway that you throw into, but that tree line that they're all going around right there, that's where the basket is, about 450 plus feet away.
That could be trouble.
Yeah, it's hard to get your first drive all the way to the basket.
If you let that wind push you into those trees, then you have to scramble sometime for a 3 on this hole. Ideally, you should leave it out in the middle of the fairway. You'll see that white post. Looks like Cam is going right at it.
Right.
That's perfect.
That was Dutch.
That was Dutch, I'm sorry.
I think Will's probably going for the basket. He's looking to make up some strokes.
He may have a look at it with that.
He might, but this is definitely not the hole you routinely want to play for a 2. You want to try and get your 3 on this one. Cam's in trouble. Couldn't really see his frisbee there, but he did get mostly out of the junk. Matt just pitches up. He's going to take his 3. And this is where Will was. And I don't know what kind of look he had there, but obviously blew right past the basket.
That was very uncharacteristic.
That
Hit
one
it again.
That one was too. I think Cam jumped out right.
This hole is taking its toll, doing some damage.
Yeah, Will and Cam both got bogeys on it. This is hole 16, and you can see this is a difficult area to drive out of.
Especially into this headwind.
They're trying to throw strong power hyzer shots and just get it into the fairway. And this has got, and then on your second shot, this has to be one of the hardest up shots on the course.
Definitely is. You've got creek right to the left of the hole. It's easy to find that out of bounds, and you have out of bounds behind this hole.
And these guys all got out clean on their drives, but you'll see here that it's basically a 300-foot, almost 300-foot upshot with a creek right beside the basket.
Yeah, that wind just lifted him. He's out of bounds. Dutch taking a wider route, wider look at it.
Oh, and that grass stuck, too.
That's perfect.
Fortunate not to grab a skip there. Looks like Campbell was trying to play it a little bit too safe.
That's a good-looking shot by Will.
He's up there. He'll have a putt at it. Matteo puts in from out of bounds.
Nice 3s.
Cam and Matt got 4s. Dutch and Will with 3s. On to hole 17. And another difficult drive.
You have to clear that creek, get as much distance. So you got to play it tight like Dutch did. He's going to have a good look at a 3 there. Again, this basket is in a difficult position. It's right on the creek, probably within 8 or 10 feet of the creek. You'll have a very similar approach shot than we just saw in this last hole. Looks like the wind got him a little bit and flipped him. He's going to have a longer approach on it. I would say they're in the neighborhood of having about a 350-foot approach from where they're at.
There you can see the basket down there on the left. Very similar to the last hole. Looks like Matt put it up there. He's going to have a putt.
Cam taking the same line, pushed it up a little bit closer.
I
don't know. That didn't really get a skip.
Yeah, he might still be a little outside the circle's edge. Doesn't look like Will like that.
He's in the creek.
Yeah, he went right in the creek. So he'll be throwing from out of bounds.
I think Dutch may have gone to school on him here. That's a pretty good shot for the skip on in.
Skip.
Yeah, that's nice.
Little skip and roll. He's going to have a 20-plus footer.
Caught a little limb.
Another uncharacteristic putt from Will. Just outside for Matt.
Cam's looking right at the water.
Right into the wind, too. I think that might have gotten his head a little bit. Looks like Dutch is going to take the only 3 on this.
This is a difficult stretch.
It really is. Once you get on hole 10 and 11, they're just a bunch of really difficult par 4s, and then the short holes are really, really difficult too.
Doesn't get any easier on this hole.
Like a lot of the other par 4s, there's out of bounds right and left side, and
he carried that fence line up there too.
Yeah, Dutch went out of bounds. That fence is part of the out of bounds.
If the wind to push this, that's going to be nice. And he got over that creek edge. That's a nice shot.
Right on the edge of the creek. That's a great shot.
If Cams gets down, he's going to be okay.
Looks like he bounced up right against the fence, but that is inbounds.
That fence, however, makes a second shot pretty tough. You just don't have much room to get any type of approach after you pull your meter.
This is going to be Dutch's out of bounds shot, I think. Still got about 280 at least to a basket guarded by out of bounds.
It's more than 280.
Yeah, that might be. That's probably more than 300 plus. Looking at it now, that was a long shot, but he ended up a little bit right.
That's probably about 380 to 400 feet.
Look like Matt swung his a little bit too far right.
Yeah, he pulled that.
It's going to be safe, I think. Yep, safe signal. Will with the biggest drive, taking a wide hyzer up shot.
That's a nice shot.
He's in the circle.
Into the wind.
Big putt from Dutch.
Wow,
and
amazing.
That is a great way to finish.
Dutch has hit 2 bombs this round, and that was really nice.
Both of them from right beside a creek.
Matt just lays up.
Will puts in for his 3, but he's not terribly happy about how he finished this round down the stretch. Matt puts in, winner 2014 Alabama Disc Golf Championship. Lavone, thanks.
You're welcome. I enjoyed watching this.
And thanks everyone else for tuning in to North Alabama Disc Golf. Congratulations to all the winners.